Life can be tough. We all stumble and fall. We face disappointments, setbacks, and failures. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when things go wrong. But what if we treated ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we offer to a good friend? This is the essence of self-compassion. Self-compassion is about embracing ourselves, flaws and all. It's about recognizing that we are all human and that imperfection is part of the shared human experience. It's not about letting ourselves off the hook or ignoring our mistakes. Instead, it's about approaching our shortcomings with a gentle and understanding heart. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our pain and suffering without judgment. It helps us to see ourselves clearly, with both our strengths and weaknesses, and to accept ourselves as we are. This radical acceptance is the foundation for growth, resilience, and well-being. Self-compassion is often confused with self-esteem, but they are distinct concepts. Self-esteem is about judging ourselves positively, often in comparison to others. It relies on external validation and can lead to self-criticism when we don't measure up. Self-compassion, on the other hand, is not about judgment. It's about recognizing our common humanity and treating ourselves with kindness, regardless of our successes or failures. It's about accepting ourselves unconditionally, just as we are in this present moment. Imagine two people who both fail a test. The person with high self-esteem might feel threatened by the failure and start criticizing themselves or blaming others. They might try to downplay the importance of the test to protect their ego. The person with high self-compassion, however, would acknowledge the disappointment and discomfort of failing. They might say to themselves, "This is really hard. I'm feeling discouraged right now, but everyone struggles sometimes. I'm not alone in this." This approach allows for self-acceptance and growth. Self-compassion rests on three core pillars: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. These pillars are essential for nurturing a compassionate and understanding relationship with ourselves. These pillars work together to create a stable and supportive inner landscape. They form the foundation upon which we can build a more resilient and loving self. Self-kindness means treating ourselves with the same care and concern that we would offer to a loved one. It involves recognizing our own worth and giving ourselves the compassion we deserve. It means being gentle with ourselves when we make mistakes, speaking to ourselves with a kind inner voice, and recognizing our own needs and limits. Self-kindness encourages us to take time for self-care, to rest when we are tired, and to forgive ourselves when we fall short of our expectations. Common humanity reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. It helps us understand that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. Everyone experiences pain, failure, and disappointment. These are universal experiences that connect us to others. It's part of the human condition. By recognizing this, we can feel a sense of solidarity and empathy with others, knowing that we are all in this together. Recognizing this shared experience helps us to feel less isolated and more connected to others. It fosters a sense of belonging and community, which can be incredibly comforting during difficult times. Mindfulness involves paying attention to our present moment experience with openness and curiosity. It is about being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting lost in them. It means observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment and accepting them as they are. Mindfulness allows us to create a space between ourselves and our experiences, giving us the clarity to respond rather than react. This allows us to relate to our experiences with greater awareness and balance. By practicing mindfulness, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and stability, even in the midst of chaos. By cultivating these three pillars in our daily lives, we can develop a strong foundation of self-compassion that will support us through life's challenges. Embracing self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness can transform the way we relate to ourselves and the world around us, leading to a more fulfilling and compassionate life. Your best friend or your worst critic? Imagine for a moment that your best friend is going through a difficult time. Perhaps they've had a rough day at work, or maybe they're dealing with a personal issue that's weighing heavily on their mind. They've made a mistake at work and they're feeling discouraged and ashamed. They might be questioning their abilities, feeling like they've let themselves and others down. How would you respond to them? Would you sit them down and tell them how disappointed you are in them? Would you berate them for their error? Would you tell them that they should have known better, that they are not good enough? Of course not. You would offer them your love and support. You would be there for them, providing a shoulder to lean on and a listening ear. You would offer them your love and support. You would remind them that everyone makes mistakes and that it's a part of being human. You would listen to them with empathy and understanding. You would let them express their feelings without judgment, allowing them to feel heard and validated. You would remind them of their strengths and encourage them to be kind to themselves. You would highlight their achievements and the positive qualities that make them who they are. Now consider how you typically treat yourself when you make a mistake. Do you extend the same compassion and understanding to yourself? Are you as compassionate and supportive towards yourself as you are towards your best friend? Or do you hold yourself to an impossibly high standard? Or do you become your own worst critic? Do you find yourself replaying your mistakes over and over in your mind, unable to let go? Many of us have a harsh inner critic that constantly judges and berates us. This inner voice can be relentless, pointing out every flaw and magnifying every error. This inner critic can be incredibly damaging to our self-esteem and well-being. It can erode our confidence and make us feel unworthy. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and a host of other mental health problems. The constant negative self-talk can create a cycle of self-doubt and despair. The good news is that we can choose to silence our inner critic and cultivate a more compassionate inner voice. We can learn to be our own best friend. We can learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one. This shift in perspective can transform our relationship with ourselves. The next time you find yourself struggling, ask yourself, what would I say to a friend who is going through this? How would I support them? Then, offer yourself the same compassion and support. Remember, you deserve the same kindness and understanding that you so readily give to others. Treat yourself with love and watch how it changes your life. The high cost of self-criticism. Self-criticism might seem like a useful tool for self-improvement. We often think that by being hard on ourselves, we can push ourselves to achieve more and reach higher standards. We may believe that being hard on ourselves will motivate us to do better. This belief is rooted in the idea that self-criticism can act as a driving force, pushing us to overcome obstacles and achieve our goals. However, research suggests that self-criticism is actually counterproductive. Studies have shown that instead of motivating us, self-criticism can lead to a decrease in performance and overall well-being. When we criticize ourselves harshly, we trigger the release of stress hormones like cortisol. These stress hormones can have a significant impact on our physical health, leading to various stress-related conditions. This can lead to a host of negative physical and emotional consequences, including anxiety, depression, insomnia, and even heart disease. The constant stress and pressure we put on ourselves can take a toll on our mental and physical health. Self-criticism can also sabotage our efforts to make positive changes. When we are overly critical of ourselves, we may become discouraged and give up on our goals altogether. When we're constantly putting ourselves down, we erode our self-confidence and make it harder to believe in our ability to succeed. This lack of self-belief can prevent us from taking the necessary steps to achieve our goals. Furthermore, self-criticism can damage our relationships with others. When we are harsh on ourselves, we may inadvertently project that negativity onto those around us, straining our relationships. When we're overly critical of ourselves, we may project that criticism onto others, making it difficult to form and maintain healthy connections. This can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness, further exacerbating our emotional distress. In short, self-criticism is a destructive habit that can have far-reaching consequences for our physical, emotional, and social well-being. It is important to recognize the detrimental effects of self-criticism and take steps to address it. It's essential to recognize the harmful effects of self-criticism and to cultivate a more compassionate and supportive inner voice. By practicing self-compassion, we can improve our overall well-being and create a more positive and fulfilling life. Embracing self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. It means acknowledging our imperfections and mistakes without harsh judgment. By fostering a compassionate inner dialogue, we can build resilience, enhance our self-esteem, and create a more supportive environment for personal growth. This shift in mindset can lead to greater happiness and success in all areas of our lives. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the entire Meaningful Pursuits team, we're grateful for your support. Hit like, share, and subscribe to never miss our next update.